Pasco County Commission 10 o'clock meeting of January 20th, 2026. At this time, silence all electronic devices and mute your phones. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Good morning. Let's pray. Oh, Father, we have come together today, and looks like we have a long and busy agenda and a lot of people here who want to be heard. And so I would ask that you give us ears to truly hear, and that you'll give us wisdom, understanding, and discernment. So any decisions that are going to be made will be made in accordance with your will and in accordance with what truly is best for the people in our county. So I thank you for your presence today, and ask that you guide and lead us in all the things that we do today. And I lift this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heating my house right now.
Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
District 1, Commissioner Oakley.
Here.
District 2, Commissioner Wakeman.
Present.
District 3, Commissioner Starkey.
Here.
District 4, Commissioner Yeager.
Here.
District 5, Chairman Mariano.
Here. Now is the time for public comment. Citizens are given an opportunity to comment on any current or future agenda item coming before the board and any other business on the board's purview. Today's public comment will be handled as follows. First, we will take public comment for those who are here in person. Then we'll take public comment for those who are pre-registered for a WebEx link and currently on queue. We ask that when you address the board, comments are not directed at personally against a commissioner or team member, but rather directed at the issue. This provides mutual respect between the board members and the public. After stating your name and address for the clerk, a 3-minute timer will be activated and a green light will be shown on the podium. After 2 minutes, a yellow light will indicate that you have 1 minute left. When your time is up, a red light will be displayed, 3 beeps will sound, and you should close your comments. WebEx participants will be disconnected automatically when their time is up. I'm just going to take a little step out of our normal procedure. I know we got a lot of people from Heritage Pines here, and I'm going to bring up Chase Daniels to be the first speaker of it as we go forward. And I just want to let everyone know, for the first time in my 21 years, we actually have an agenda, consent agenda, where not a single item is pulled. If anyone here from Sea Pines is worried about environmental land, that probably will be moving forward. So congratulations, Mike, for bringing that, and thank you, Chase, for coming forward. Chase Daniels.
Yes, sir, Commissioner. Chase Daniels, Pasco Sheriff's Office, Under Sheriff Community Outreach. So, Commissioner, thank you very much for bringing forward. I know certainly there's a lot of concern that you'll hear today in Heritage Pines, especially regarding trespassing, ATV use, gun firing, loud music in an area known as the East Pits. I can let you know that the Sheriff's Office has been very, very well aware of this concern. And last year, we started special details on Friday and Saturday nights, every Friday and Saturday night in April, May, and June. Unfortunately, we did not see a lot of improvement, so we restarted those in September, October, and November. Again, unfortunately, we did not see a lot of improvement with that. I will say that the property owner has been very, very good to work with. We have a trespassing agreement in place. The property owner also had an extra duty detail and has provided us side-by-sides to allow us to get out into the woods. So I do want to give credit to the property owner of this area. Throughout those operations, like I said, in April, May, June, September, October, November, we largely focused on traffic stops and trespassing violations. We issued numerous of those, and those were just out of the special details, not to include the calls for service we also responded to there. However, unfortunately, over the holidays, we did see an increase in this again. I know Commissioner Mariano and I both received numerous emails. Members of our command staff and I met with Mr. Hurley, who is the general manager of Heritage Pines, and I believe you'll also hear from him today, and kind of walked him through our plan as we move forward as well. With that, we now have ramped up our efforts even more out there. So for this month, we have had daily operations out there. We have also started using our unmanned aerial systems. We have used electronic signboards to advise people whenever they're coming in and out of the property on the major thoroughfares that they are trespassing and subject to arrest or other violation. And we also continue, like I said, with those now nightly patrols out in that area as calls for service allow. So we are certainly aware of the problem, doing all we can out there. I will say I have received emails the last 2 weekends that things have drastically improved. People reported being able to sleep through the night and through the weekend. So it seems like the efforts are making a positive impact out there, but there's certainly something we're going to continue over the next several months as we work to rein in this issue.
Well, Chase, as the enforcement office, we greatly appreciate you stepping up and listening to the residents and taking the actions you've taken, so thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our first person signed, Andrew Bloom.
I have a petition here. May I give this petition?
Move to receive and file.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Your name and address for the record, please.
Andrew Bloom, 17109 Heritage Pines on Wheatfield Loop, Heritage Pines. Ready to go?
Go ahead, sir.
Hello to all commissioners, especially Commissioner Mariano, our district's commissioner, participants and observers. My name is Andrew Bloom, and I'm a board member of Tall Pines Village, a village within the Heritage Pines community in Hudson. I am here at the request of our board president and other officers and residents of numerous villages in Heritage Pines. Also, the general manager of Heritage Pines and HOA president are well aware of our presence here and have encouraged our participation. I have amended my originally planned comments in light of recent developments. The last 2 weeks have shown a noticeable improvement to bringing an element of peace to our neighborhoods. For months, we've been subjected to intolerable noise and gunfire disturbances in close proximity to our homes. Thanks to the efforts of the Sheriff's Office and County Commissioner Mariano, we have had a relatively peaceful couple of weeks. I say relatively. That being said, gunfire and off-road vehicle distractions were still heard, especially near the Spindrift Loop vicinity in our community. However, I understand that they were of a shorter than usual duration. We hope that this reduction in illegal disturbances continues until they are non-existent. We hope as well that this is just not a brief respite from monster truck-like noise, the random nearby firing of automatic weapons, illegal party gatherings, and the setting of bonfires in drought conditions. We are here to ask that a lasting permanent solution be found to these problems. As recently as approximately 3 weeks ago, on New Year's Eve, there was a huge gathering close to our homes, replete with automatic weapons firings, loud music, and the roar of enhanced sound vehicles. This was our New Year's Eve, 3 weeks ago. All I've just mentioned about New Year's Eve is substantially similar to what we have endured over the last number of months. These frequent disturbances have been lasting until as late as 4 a.m. in the morning, for months. Last but not least, is a loss of value to our homes. Many of us are of an age that we have to consider moving to an assisted living facility. These facilities are not cheap. Others plan to bequeath their home's value to their children or grandchildren. Unless these disturbances are eliminated, the fair price sale of a wide swath of Heritage Pines homes will be jeopardized. This would have a rippling, depressive effect on home values in the entire Heritage Pines community. I speak as a retired real estate broker and appraiser. We do appreciate the recent, are we done?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wrap it up, thanks.
We appreciate the recent efforts of relevant agencies and individuals over the past 2 weeks. But again, we ask that a permanent solution be found. There is little doubt that these illegal activities will resume if a long-lasting solution isn't implemented. Thank you.
Thank you. Please don't clap. Please don't clap. And if you've, again, if you heard Chase Daniels and this gentleman, I think you were very eloquent and very accurate. We are on it. We're going to stay on it and get you peace in that neighborhood. But anyone else want to speak, they still can.
Tom Cecil. I will defer. Thank you, sir. I'm going to go ahead and pick up others that had signed up under Heritage Pines. Herb Hurley.
Good morning, Herb Hurley, 1463 East Monopoly Loop in Inverness, Florida. I am the general manager of Heritage Pines. Good morning, Commissioners. I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak today. As I said, I am the general manager of Heritage Pines. And before addressing our concerns, which we all know what those concerns are, I want to thank Sheriff Naco, Chase Daniels, Sergeant Paul Downey, yourselves, the Commissioners, also Barbara Riles, the property owner, for all their work they have done in responding to our concerns. Their continued presence, professionalism, responsiveness in addressing trespassing and noise violations have not gone unnoticed. We are grateful for their efforts and their commitment to public safety. While we appreciate those actions that have been taken, I'm here on behalf of the residents because the nuisance conditions continue on. Despite the enforcement efforts, residents are still experiencing ongoing disturbances, including excessive noise, repeated trespassing, and these issues are not isolated. They're happening just about every weekend. Heritage Pines is a well-established residential community, and our residents take pride in maintaining a safe and quiet and respectful neighborhood. Unfortunately, the continued activity coming from the property to our south undermines those efforts and has become a persistent problem to our homeowners. We are not here to place blame, but rather ask for continued attention, coordination, and support from the county to help bring about a long-term and sustainable solution. Our residents simply want the ordinances and regulations already in place consistently enforced so that everyone can coexist peacefully. On behalf of the Heritage Pines residents, I respectfully ask that the Commissioners remain engaged on this issue and to assist in identifying additional measures that can help prevent these ongoing nuisances from occurring. Thank you again for your time and consideration and for your continued support of our community.
Next person signed up was Alan Rose. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
Good morning. Alan Rose, 10221 Hilltop Drive, Newport Richey, 34654. And anything else?
That's all right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm here to address our riparian flow throughout West Pasco County. It's really becoming an issue along with the rest of the waterways. So West Pasco County's central flood basin has been created by impairing our riparian flow through the hardening of our perimeters on the north, State Road 52, on the south side, Ridge Road, east, Moon Lake Road, and west, Little Road. Water can flow in, but it can't flow out. The south portion of the basin, as the riparian flows moving through Rocky Sink Spillway, Tanglewood Spillway, Hidden Lake Spillway, all bringing our riparian flow to the Coatee River, then out to the Gulf of America. The north section of the basin all flow to Bear Creek and then out to the Gulf of America. Local government, most recently, last year, so they adjusted the FLU, future land use, without consideration of our water flow, producing a central flood basin within West Pasco. Local agents will tell you they have engineers handling stormwater for this rezoning and development. The engineers do a great job, beautiful designs with retention ponds and everything. They handle the pollution issues so well, yet they do not address the riparian flow of water, causing upstream flooding and many other issues. They do comply with the EP needs for this, and that's why we do have the impaired basins, is because of the water not flowing and we have pollutions. So now all of those basins hold the pollutants from going into our waterways. Still, we have the impaired basins. So Cranes Roost, Bass Lake, Golden Acres, Hidden Lake, Osceola Heights, Griffin Park, Timber Oaks, Beacon Woods, Summer Tree, Shady Hills, West Moon Lake, Water's Edge, River's Edge, all communities directly affected and are now having flooding they haven't had before. We've always had some flooding. We have a lot of wetlands, but because of the lack of flow, our riparian flow is not functioning at all. And it's just causing a lot, it's going to cause a lot more issues. And if we continue to neglect this, what's going to happen is you're going to have a flood basin going from 52 all the way down to Trinity. And you know what Trinity is because of the lack of addressing these issues. The spillways, the streams, we're not having any maintenance done. And is really causing flooding. So the more you develop, and we're good with development, but if you can keep the riparian flow, it can handle all that development. If we're not maintaining the riparian flow, all this hardening and all this development that we want and we can use up here, it's going to flood out. The next one upcoming is going to be Tanglewood. Tanglewood's, because of the future development coming up, the water's going to be pressed over there, and Tanglewood spillway is impaired right now and not functioning properly. So you're going to now have everything, Golden Acres, Tanglewood flooding out and then going south.
We need to wrap it up. If you would, before you leave, talk to Branford and talk to him about the cross connection we can make from your area over to Timber Oaks, where we can make that flowway connection. It could help a lot for that area.
It could.
We have work on Magnolia Valley too, but if you would, talk with Branford.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mike Garrett.
Good morning. Michael Durant, 4927 Caney Court, Port Richey, Florida. I'm also here today to talk about the impaired waterways of the Cody and Anclote River Delta. This tributary to the southwest of our county has experienced rapid development in the past 10 years that drainage experts couldn't even imagine. I've experienced it firsthand. To give you a little background, I'm a retired Coast Guard helicopter rescue swimmer for 21 years. I've dealt with numerous hurricanes, to include Ivan, Katrina, Rita, and many more. So after last year, after Hurricane Milton came through our area, I was called by a friend of mine who was in a panic, who was over at the 7 Springs and 54 area, who had 3 feet of water on his roadway, and it was coming up behind his house of the Anclote River Delta. He asked me if there was anything I could do. He heard that during that week I was pumping out all the pools in my neighborhood along the Cody River from Hurricane Helene. So I said, sure, I'll give it a try. So I drove over in my truck over to Highway 54 in 7 Springs, where I had to stop because there was water reaching the road. From there, I took a kayak and my dewatering pump that pumps 120 gallons a minute, and I paddled into the neighborhood in about waist-deep water. After about 6 hours, I was able to pump the water from the back of the house to the front where the street and the proper drainage was, so that he got very minimal water in his home. But, I mean, we had sandbags. It was pretty amazing to see that much water and the lack of drainage. So with that being said, none of these residents have flood insurance that went through that, and they're not in a flood zone. But, I mean, they had a good solid 3 feet of water. I'm asking that, you know, we look at these areas. These residents don't have flood insurance. So, you know, when that happens and they lose stuff, we know FEMA kicks in, and then flood insurance goes up for everyone. We need to invest our money into our impaired waterways. The stormwater carries pollutants that go to the Gulf of America. We must invest, you know, some money now, because if we kick the can down the road, you know, labor and materials are going to be way more expensive. This will provide cleaner waterways to marine life, keep residents safe, keep our flood insurance costs down, and prevent people that don't or aren't in a flood zone to become in a flood zone. All right.
Thank you. And if you could, thank you for your service, but if you would talk to Branford, I would like to get that information from you. We're going to be going to D.C. coming up. We've been working on Anclote for a long time. I want to use what you just said.
Yes, sir. And I have video and pictures that I'll provide you.
If you would talk to Branford, I'm going to use you to go further with it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Starkey.
Sir, what neighborhood were you referring to?
It was along 54 and 7 Springs. I couldn't tell you a sign. I could get the address.
Hideaway?
I believe it was hard to tell. That, you know, there was waist deep water, so I wasn't really looking around.
So
I'll be around.
if you
I'll
stay
get
here through commissioners' items, which we should get to this morning, right?
Yeah.
We will talk about cleaning up the rivers, because we have the money for it.
Yep.
We have a grant. We did that the last time there was a big flood, so stay tuned, and, because we don't really engage during commission items. But I'll ask
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
questions.
Thank you.
Rick Rager. Mr. Rager, your name and address for the
Yes,
record, please.
good morning, Commissioners. Richard Rager, most people call me Rick, 11422 Heritage Point Drive in Hudson. I live in the Heritage Pines community. I want to thank all the HB people that are here. I certainly support everything that they have said today. But I just want to talk a little bit about County Line Road. For about 20 years, I've been a resident of Heritage Pines for about 20 years now, and I've been an advocate for expansion of County Line Road. In fact, I call it the Forgotten Road. Several years ago, I started a petition in Heritage Pines, and several hundred people signed that petition, and that petition was given to the proper commissioners, both in Hernando and Pasco County. Since then, not much has been done. Some improvements, but basically, County Line Road is a dangerous road. It's an out-of-date two-lane road. It's heavily trafficked. God forbid you get somebody in front of you that's making a left turn, because you could be backed up for a block very easily. Since I've been here for 20 years, I've seen a lot of expansion on roads 54, 52, even 50 in Hernando County. Again, that's why I call our road the Forgotten Road. I would ask all the commissioners to consider this a county-wide project and get together and work with the Hernando County commissioners to move it up on the priority list, because I understand no construction is planned for about 7 years. I think that's shameful. This is an important road for not only HP residents, but all the folks that travel up and down County Line Road to try to get to the toll road. So nothing would make me happier than to expand that road all the way to the toll road, and I could stop calling it the Forgotten Road. I'd rather call it the Jack Mariano roadway.
No, the County Commissioners Road.
Thank you. Thank you.
No clapping.
Please.
Bill Eschenbaugh.
The dirt dog.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm the dirt dog. I'm Bill Eschenbaugh, founder of Eschenbaugh Land Company in 403 South Willow Avenue in Tampa, Florida. And I'm here today to speak for two landowners at Sea Pines and US 19. And I just really want to thank the commission, first of all, for having us up here today. It looks like we're on the consent agenda. I want to thank your staff at ELAMP. They worked really hard, walked through water out there one day with them up to our knees, just checking the property out. They've done a very thorough job. So we're happy to be at this stage, and we hope that we continue the process. I want to be off here while my green light's still on, so I want to yield a couple minutes back to everyone. But I hope you support the couple hundred acres out there that go perhaps into parks and help control flooding in that whole area of Sea Pines and US 19. So pleasure to be here. I just wanted to show up, and I'm so happy to be on the consent agenda this morning. Thank you. Have a good day.
With no polls.
Robert Castro. Robert Castro. Barbara Riles.
Hello, I'm Barbara Riles. I live at 4601 West San Miguel Street, Tampa, Florida 33629. I am the owner and manager of DCH Timber Property, the 520 acres which is in question. The land has been owned by my family for over 80 years, and I'd like to first start by thanking Commissioner Mariano. He has been a great partner and a great advocate for trying to solve this problem with the trespassers. I'd also like to thank the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, who has worked so closely with me, and there are many officers that have been involved in patrolling this parcel, and they have been absolutely great to work with. I have paid over $34,000 over 4 years for off-duty police officers in trying to increase the patrol of the property. And then the Pasco County Sheriff's Office said, you know what, it's really not working and you're wasting your money because one officer can't do what we need done. We need larger groups of officers to come out there. I offered and wrote a check for an ATV for Pasco County Sheriff's Office in attempting to provide additional equipment that they might be able to use to patrol my property and other property owners. I feel for any property owner who has these trespassing issues that just can't seem to be solved. I paid thousands of dollars for trash, which has been cleaned up on the property that have been left by the trespassers. I purchased Pasco County signage from the Sheriff's Department in order to have official trespassing signs. Of course, what's the first thing a trespasser does? They take the sign down so that I have to go back and replace and replace and replace. I would, unfortunately, the property at 520 acres is just too large to fence, and these people seem to be so aggressive that are going on my property that I have no doubt that they would immediately just take down the fence. I just want the commission, and I'd like the residents of Heritage Pines to know that I stand with you in trying to solve this problem, and I will do anything that you ask me to do in order to make it better. Thank you.
Barbara, thank you. Before you go, though, this is such a big issue. I'll just take a quick moment. And I know it's been a difficult, and I've been pushed with the idea about should we look at fencing it, and I agree with you. We've had our own areas where we've even faced our own county property. They cut it, they go through, and they tear it up anyway. So even if you put a fence up, that weakest link, they go through, and it's gone anyway. But I'd like you to consider, if you would, Keith Lamps in the back of the room there. We're buying some environmental lands over in Sea Pines we just mentioned. This is a property that we actually looked at. We thought it would be great to preserve it as well. If you would talk to Keith, if it gets nominated, we'd be happy to take that process. And then we can do something even more so to protect the property and protect the residents, and then take care of you as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Cheryl Orchard.
Yeah. And folks, please don't clap. Thank you.
I would like to turn these in.
Move
to receive and file.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. My name is Cheryl Orchard. I live at 6719 Manor Beach Road in Green Key. I'm here today because we have terrible issues in 4 streets where we live. From US 19 down to Sea Forest, we have wooded areas. They're occupied by the homeless people. We have gunfire going on out on the island at the end of Manor Beach. We have trespassing. Now we have houses. By the way, I want to say this. It's good that the permit thing was issued. I think it's a good thing when that flood come through. We had 51 inches. I'm elevated. It was still a mess. It was still a lot of work. Me and my husband did it ourselves, but we also helped the neighborhood. I thank you for getting in there and get some of the trash out of there from what everybody lost. But it goes deeper than that. The trauma that it has caused on some of the elderly people, and not even the elderly people, trying to restore that neighborhood. They put their heart and soul in that. I had an 89-year-old neighbor that lived in her house with a light, with batteries, with no walls. I'm telling you, the people are trying, but we got houses in there, and I got to say this, and I know some of you are investors, but I'm going to tell you something. Our LLCs that are in there, they buy these places cheap. They turn around, and there's been some that has hired people to come in, let them have it rent-free for a year, and they didn't have to pay rent, and they were the worst neighbors to have to live by. The condition of the property, and it's a nice house. I don't know if that house ever got inspected, but we got one at the end of the street. I called Code. Code turned around, told me they weren't in the lawn service business. Yes, I'm going to say you gave me an email, and yes, I did call Code. My response from Code was, we're not in the lawn service business. I said, well, it's rat infested. Well, we're not in the exterminating business. Okay. So we ourselves looked up the owner of that property, and we drove to Spring Hill. And we took that, my husband went to the door, and a teenager come to the door. And he said, yes, that's my mother's property. So then I sent a certified letter. She never picked it up, okay? So after Christmas, I mailed her a Christmas card with not a return address. I'm sure she opened the Christmas card, and I had all the information inside. We've done what we can do in there. The waterways are going to need to be fixed from Anclote all the way down to Crystal River. We need barrier islands to stop some of that water from coming in. But we thank you for listening, and I put you a booklet together. You can see the rest of it. Thank you.
If you would, Cheryl, before you go, talk to David Allen and Branford. There's actually a property we looked at on Green Key we're trying to get. And I think with David, maybe he can help you talk with the residents out there that were damaged by those storms. We've got Community Development Block Grant disaster recovery money, which might be able to help those people that don't think there's help. We might be able to help them. So if you talk to those two gentlemen.
We need road help.
We're going to work on that too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gary Costa.
Why is there cold air down here? I feel like there's an air conditioner under this table.
Good morning. My name's Gary Costa, 10729 Myra Vista Drive in Port Richey. And I'm here representing Worship Life Church. And in consideration of trading 4 lots that we have purchased farther down on Hedges Road in the Moon Lake community area. And our church address is 10936 Moon Lake Road. The lots that we would like to trade are 4 lots that are right south of our property line in the purpose of gaining more parking area for our congregation as it is continually to enlarge and grow, which is a good thing for us. So we're just here asking the commissioners if they would consider the trade. I have the lots here that we purchased and the lots that are south of us from the county. And we have spoken with Commissioner Yeager, as she is our commissioner in our area. And it would be very beneficial to us and very much appreciative if the board would consider doing this for us. I thank you.
All right, Gary, if you would, Andrew Baxter's right there, ready to talk with you, so he can take the information and take it from there.
Okay, thank you.
That's the last that we had signed up in advance,
Okay.
and we have none online.
Okay. Did anyone else want to address the board for any other topics before we close it out? Okay, come forward. And if anyone else would like to speak after this lady, please get behind her.
Your name and address for the record, please, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Grace Aprobolino. I live at 7901 Raintree in Newport Richey in Magnolia Valley. I am the current president of Magnolia Valley, and just want to thank you, Lisa, for attending our annual meeting last week. I just wanted to let everybody know who I am and know that I'm representing them going forward. We have a lot of concerns, and we are ready to address them, and I'll be contacting Paula later so I can address some concerns regarding the sidewalks in Magnolia Valley.
Right.
But other than that, just a greeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. See how she's wearing a coat? It's freezing in here. I'm about to put a coat on my legs.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Jim Abel, 11818 Spindrift Loop, Hudson, Florida, resident of Heritage Pines. I just want to kind of put an exclamation mark on what everybody's been saying. I'm in my 23rd year now in Heritage Pines, and where I live on Spindrift Loop is right up against the fence line where all of the activity takes place. I moved in the day before Thanksgiving in 2002, and about 2:30, 3 o'clock that morning, my bedroom, which is on the back end of the house by the fence, lit up like Yankee Stadium in a night ball game. And the vehicles and the partying and the music that started was unbelievable. And I had to say to myself, what the hell have I done with myself? You know, if this is a regular occurrence. Well, it is and has been a regular occurrence. It was alluded to before that sometimes it's Friday and Saturday night that this takes place. I beg to differ. This takes place during the daytime, whenever there's a weekend usually, but during the week, if it's nice weather, these vehicles are out, the people are out, the parties start, and they'll go on till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. My granddaughter is a investigator for the state attorneys up in Tallahassee, and her husband is a SWAT officer for Tallahassee Police Department, been there a number of years. They were here back in June, and they called me up in the morning. They were staying at the house, I was staying someplace else, and they said, what the hell is going on? 4 o'clock in the morning, this noise, this racket, my God, it was terrible. We couldn't sleep, and even the little kids, my great-grandchildren were awakened by it. So this is something that goes on. It's not a 2-day-a-week event. It is a 7-day-a-week event, depending upon the weather. I don't know if these people have jobs. I don't know what they're doing out there at the wee hours of the morning, racing around in their vehicles, but they're there, and it is something that just needed to be contended with. In a letter that I sent to Sheriff Naco back in December, I said to him, if your mom and dad, had moved into this property, unbeknownst to what is going on, that this problem would come to a screeching halt. You wouldn't tolerate it if your folks were living there, and I say that to you folks as well. That's it. Thank you very much.
Well,
Appreciate
thank you.
your
And for
time.
all- and for all
It's a serious issue.
It's a very serious issue and something we've been looking at. I will say I've been, in the past couple of months, getting emails from 8:30 at night, 9:30 at night, Saturday nights, whatever. One morning I woke up at 2:30 a.m. and I decided I'd start sharing everything right now with. And I want to say, from the reaction and what you've been going through, like getting worse or whatever, I want to thank the Sheriff's Office for actually putting the extra effort. It's a short-term quelling of the situation. We're going to look for a long-term solution, though.
Well, I had a meeting a week ago, Tuesday, with the sheriff from the STAR team for the Sheriff's Office, and I was very encouraged by what he said, and I just hope that everybody follows through on it.
We're gonna keep working on it. We're gonna work with Barbara and see what we can do with Keith and try to make some things happen that will give us a little more control over everything, and then we can get stronger with what's going on out there.
Excellent. Thank you
All right?
very much.
Thank you all very much.
Good morning. My name is Larry Boscarino. Live at 11536 Barronwood Court. I agree with everything everybody's saying with the ATVs and the gunshots. We have a new problem that just started about a month and a half ago. We had people move in and with farm animals.
Move in where?
So now we're dealing with roosters at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Oh.
and geese and chickens, and who knows what else is going on back there. But on top of everything else, what everybody else has been talking about, that's been going on.
All right, before you go, Denise Sanderson is here. Denise, see Denise before you go, and she can address that.
Okay.
Correct.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Anyone else here for public comment? All right, thank you very much. We're going to close public comment. No one's online?
We have no one online.
Okay. We're going to close public comment. We're going to go on to a resolution for early learning day.
Well, did they move on?
Thank you.
Yeah, well, that's. Wait for a minute.
Road in your neighborhood.
Kind of takes away from the rest.
Please don't play it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd ask that you leave the room quietly so we can move on.
Let's give it a minute. Who's here? Okay.
Resolution number 26103, a resolution of the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida.
Let's bring the person up for the resolution. Lisa, who's here for it?
Steve Noble. Come on out.
All the way in the back.
Swing around.
Come around the end. I have to run to.
Have to get out of it to get anyplace else.
Yeah.
That would have been swimming upstream, huh?
Once again, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, declaring January 26, 2026 as All In for Early Learning Day in Pasco County. Whereas a child's first 5 years of life are critical to healthy brain development, future learning, and lifelong success, and whereas high-quality early learning programs help children enter school ready to learn, build strong social and emotional skills, and support families in fostering their child's growth and development, and whereas Florida's early learning educators play a vital role in preparing children for school and life, serving as dedicated professionals who nurture curiosity, creativity, and confidence. And whereas access to affordable, high-quality early learning strengthens communities, supports working families, and contributes to Florida's economic prosperity. And whereas the statewide awareness campaign, All In for Early Learning, unites families, educators, businesses, and community leaders in championing early learning as the foundation for success. And whereas recognizing and celebrating early learning raises awareness of its importance and reaffirms our commitment to ensuring every child in Florida and Pasco County has the opportunity to thrive. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby declares January 26th, 2026 as All In for Early Learning Day in Pasco County and encourages citizens, businesses, organizations, and institutions to join in celebrating our youngest learners, their families, and the educators who inspire them. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 20th day of January 2026.
Move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Commissioner Yeager.
All right. Well, first of all, you know how much I love your organization. What you guys do is amazing. You equip the preschools with the tools they need. You make sure the kids are getting all the services they need. The parents, you come and wrap around them, give them the resources they need. If they want help finding a great preschool, you can tell them, hey, this one, got written up for this, or this one's great. You help them out financially when it comes to based on your income. The teachers, you guys educate the teachers, and you're always doing supports for them. And even in COVID, you guys were paying the teachers to take classes. You were amazing. The learning never stopped, whether it was virtual. I just can't say enough about what you guys do. And as parents of young kids, if you guys don't know about the Early Learning Coalition, check it out online because there's a wealth of knowledge on there. So thank you very much for everything you guys do. And I love coming out to the preschools and reading to the kids. And
thank you, Commissioner Yeager, and all the commissioners. I know all of you for a long time, and I know you're all deeply invested in early childhood. So I'm not going to stand up here and rattle off a bunch of facts that hopefully most, if not everybody in this room knows and understands how important our youngest citizens are to Pasco County and society. So thank you all for recognizing this day, and this is only the third commission so far in the state out of 30 early learning coalitions to recognize this day. So thank you for doing that. It means a lot to not only our staff, but all of our board members. We have 25 board members, and Commissioner Yeager is one of those. So thank you all.
Very good. Commissioner Oakley.
Yep. Thank you for everything you do. Our youth are our future, so we realize that and very much support all the learning we can give those young people that's coming up to be the future of the county, Pasco County. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Whitman.
Thank you, Steve. You and your team. Thank you for giving parents and kids a chance. Most of the time you're dealing with those folks who are trying to figure out how to get their kids to school, have a decent and safe place to stay, and go to work. So organizations like yours help those families and help those kids and those parents be confident and become confident human beings. So glad you're here today.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Starkey.
Well, I missed the whole thing. But is this the Early Learning Coalition? Yeah. I used to serve on that, so. Great seeing you again, by the way. I haven't
Thank
seen you
you.
in a while. So, yes, thanks for all you do. You know, getting the kids off on a good start is everything. Is everything. So I'm really grateful that we have an organization like that. And you've been there a long time. I didn't see.
I'm getting a little gray. It's 9 years now.
Great,
It's
great
great,
job.
though. Enjoying it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. And actually, thank you. The organization is critical. Someone who's got a grandson now and another one on the way is like, and I know the great benefit I got with my wife, being able to work with them, going through everything to get them a running start, help with their education tremendously. So seeing it from firsthand, fully supportive of what you guys are doing, and it's important.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think we all go down for a picture?
Yep.
No, I've got two, so after I do this one, just hold tight for me. Hold on one sec. Ready?
Okay, the next item up is the consent agenda, and I want to say, Mike Carmella and your team, congratulations. And like I said, 21 years, the first time we've ever had a consent agenda with absolutely no pulls, so that's worth a round of applause, right?
Are you sure you don't want to celebrate C-29?
Mr. Chairman, for clarification only, items C1 through C4, I'm sorry, C1 through C12, just for clarification, those minutes are for approval, where the others are C14, 17 are for distribution. And we're going to be, I'd like to come under old business kind of to discuss the process so we can maybe cut out some things on the consent agenda.
That'd be fine.
Going forward.
Okay. All right, can we have a motion for the consent agenda?
So move.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Chuck's here.
So I've got a time certain for 11 o'clock Tampa Bay Water. I know Chuck is here. Chuck, we can start early if you like.
I'll be happy.
All right, no presentation,
You like that?
Tampa Bay Water.
Well, good morning to you, Board, and I appreciate your having me here. My name is Chuck Carden. I am the General Manager of Tampa Bay Water, and I've been there for quite a few years. I've been there since 1993. I have served the last 5 years as the General Manager. I do want to thank Commissioner Oakley and Waitman. They actually are serving on our board currently. But also, I know Chairman Mariano and Catherine Starkey, they've also served many terms and many years, and we thank you for your service.
And I met Chuck in leadership, Tampa Bay.
2002.
Oh.
And Chuck, I just want to say I was appointed to the board.
Yes.
I would love to serve on the board. It is a direct conflict with the area of aging. You meet at the same date and the same time. So sadly, I can't do that.
Well, we'll get you on there soon.
I am looking forward to it.
Well, Tampa Bay Water, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Tampa Bay Water, so for some of you unfamiliar, we were formed in 1998 by the member governments that we serve. This is 3 counties, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, and the 3 cities, Newport Richey, City of Tampa, and St. Petersburg. Our mission is to reliably provide clean, safe drinking water to the Tampa Bay area for not only now, but for future generations. We currently are supplying our members with an average of about 209 million gallons a day of drinking water. The county here, Pasco, is purchasing currently 39 million gallons a day is our budget for them. A little side note, I started in the county, my career, back in 1987 through 93, and I believe the county was taking about 15 million gallons a day at that time. So quite a difference a few years make. Our distribution system is shown in this graphic. It includes 13 well fields, a surface water treatment plant that has 2 water intakes on 2 different river sources. We also have a seawater desal facility and a 15.5 billion gallon reservoir. All said, there's 21 points of connection. That's our meters that we connect to the 6-member governments. We also, amazing fact is all of that we maintain at a wholesale water rate to each of the members, $2.64 per thousand, which is a little bit over a quarter of a penny per gallon. Our system is very complex. Every day we deliver a blend of treated water that is river water, desal water, and groundwater. And to my knowledge, it's the only system in this country that has those 3 blends together. That is how we keep the cost down to the $2.64 per thousand because each one of the sources have a different cost, the desal being the most expensive, groundwater being the cheapest, and we have to keep that in mind when we're putting together our budgets and our blends. The pie chart there you can see is what we expect to average with the 3 sources in this fiscal year. And as you note, 56% is groundwater and the remaining 44% is the other 2 sources. Back in 1998, one of the main reasons we started, we formed Tampa Bay Water, that pie chart used to be one solid color of blue, and it was 100% groundwater. And as you know about the water wars, that was not sustainable for the environment or for the area. Over the years, we have gone through cycles of growth and cycles of maintenance, and currently we're in a growth phase. This chart tells you the story. If we compare the 2025 actual demands by members to our demands that we're projecting 20 years from now, you can see quite a difference. We have enough water right now, but over the next few years, we are hard at looking for new ways to expand our regional system to meet the demands for the years 2028, 2033, and beyond. The fastest areas of growth are South Hillsborough County, and you know this very well, Central and Eastern Pasco County. Right now, a majority of our capital improvement program budget will be spent on expanding our surface water treatment plant. We're also starting a South Hillsborough wellfield project, and we're also expanding our distribution system with the South Hillsborough pipeline. The surface water treatment plant's design capacity will be expanded to 145 million gallons a day. Currently, it's 120 million gallons a day. That expansion will allow an additional 12.5 million gallons a day to be delivered to our members. The plant is considered our workhorse of the system, and it is not far from the fairgrounds in Brandon. We have completed our design and permitting, and construction is starting later this month, which there's not too much longer in the month, but we are about to get started on the work there at the plant. Hopeful the expected end date of that plant expansion is 2028. And just recently, the board approved another new supply, and it's called the South Hillsborough Wellfield. The facility could bring between another 6 and 12 million gallons a day of new water to the region. About half of that water from this well field is from permits that Tampa Bay Water has acquired from third-party permittees that did not no longer wanted to maintain their permits, and so we acquired those. The other 6 would come from credits that we would purchase with Hillsborough County. Currently, they are providing treated reclaimed water into deep well injections on their coast near Apollo Beach. And that is forcing pressures inland upwards, and it's keeping salt water from intruding. But that is allowing the additional 6 that could be permitted by the district. We are building the well field in phases, and we are planning to start early next year. And right now, we're currently acquiring property. We've also started construction on the new South Hillsborough pipeline. The pipeline shown here on the graph is 26 miles long, and it's between 3 and 5 feet in diameter. It will also connect our facilities to 2 Hillsborough County water treatment plants. And the pipeline is being funded by not only Tampa Bay Water, but Hillsborough County and the Southwest Florida Water Management District. The plans are to have the pipeline in service by the end of 2028. We also continue to look at projects for implementation beyond our 2033 timeline. We are currently conducting feasibility studies for the projects shown here on this graph. And the plans are to finish the studies and then make a recommendation to our board in the year 2027. So probably next year we'll be coming to our board for the next water supply projects. And as you can see, of the 6 projects, we are exploring projects all over the region. And regardless of the source of your drinking water, all the water provided by Tampa Bay Water meets or surpasses all local, state, and federal standards. The last time I presented to you last year, I let you in on the PFAS, the forever chemicals. We were studying them, sampling, along with our member governments, and the Environmental Protection Agency issued new PFAS regulations over the last 2 years. And so we have been looking at those, and we have a study that we have. It's called the Regional Water Quality Study. It not only looks at PFAS treatment in areas, but also the removal of total organic carbon. And we'll be making recommendations to our board later on this spring. And as you can see in the graph, there's 3 stars in orange. Those are the areas that we have consistently found just above that 4 parts per trillion in the Brandon area. There's 2 wells in Brandon, and then there's our surface water treatment. It's the bigger star. So we're looking at some different treatment for that, and we'll be presenting it to our board very soon.
Chuck, let me ask you a question on that.
Yes, sir.
Being that the wells in that area are bad, would it be better off to even just close down those wells and just drill somewhere else and get credits for the drilling? Just to leave that component alone?
Yeah, we're looking at that. They are very important wells to us. It's a system of 5 wells out there. 2 of them are the ones that are just above that. Also to note, once we pump and blend that with other waters, it's below the 4 parts per trillion. So we're looking at that on a cost standby. Is it cost effective to do something besides the treatment as well? So we're looking at that. That happened to be my last slide, and I just wanted to thank you for your time. I try to get around at least once a year to all the members to show them my face and here to answer any questions you may have.
Okay. I want to say, Chuck, serving with you was great. I had a few other responsibilities I was taking on as a chairman this year, but you're well represented, and I do appreciate your service for over the years. Done a
Thank
great
you,
job.
sir.
Thank you. Commissioner Starkey.
Has anything happened with the Howard Curran and the, you know how they have to stop dumping all that water into the bay? What's happening with that front?
Haven't heard too much. I ask here and there, but it's Senate Bill 64 is what you're asking me, where reclaimed waters cannot be discharged in surface water bodies of the state of Florida after the year 2032, I believe. And so there are some communities that have to do something. City of Tampa has quite the quantity. It's 50 million gallons a day. And so I know they're looking at some things around their plant to deep well injection. And also, we're talking to them about what could we use it for. You know, I described the county, Hillsborough County, using the reclaimed water to prevent saltwater intrusion, but it's also turned into a drinking water project. It was a great idea. So we're looking at all kinds of innovative ways. But I couldn't give you a direct answer of what they're doing, particularly with the deadline coming.
You know, I was on the Swift Mud Board, oh gosh, it was before I was ever on the school board, so 2002, 2000 to 2006 maybe, I was on there, 2008. We were talking about the Howard Curran water way back then. We were talking about piping it up to Pasco County to rehydrate. It's amazing that all this time has gone by and they still haven't done something good with it.
Manatee was talking about pumping it south to.
Oh, yeah,
to-
Polk County wanted it too, so Commissioner Oakley had his hands up.
Commissioner Oakley.
Yep. Chuck, I appreciate the report you gave. Do you know the actual, how much we have in the reservoir at this time?
It is just around under 10 billion gallons out of the 15 and a half, so 2/3 full.
Right.
But we are entering the really driest parts of our year. We're in a drought. The rainfall didn't occur again. 2 years ago, we were in a similar situation. Rainfall was very sparse in September all the way through today. And I know our meeting's next week, and then the following day, Swiftmud's going to be meeting, and they're probably going to be going to a phase 2 water restriction. I know Pasco County is already there at 1 day a week, so that should help, but we've got to get through to the rainy season, which typically starts in mid-June for us.
Yeah. I know when we start 1 day a week, other than the 2 days, when you go that extra amount, that's like a 30 million gallon savings per day. It's amazing how much water is saved just, cutting that 1 day out from watering. So, but I appreciate everything we've done, but Tampa Bay Water has actually been a great thing for Pasco County and all of its members. It continues to help, and then we continue to come up with new projects. One of my favorite projects would be another reservoir like the reservoir we have now. Would really gain a lot of water for the area and for the future of our area. So I keep hearing a lot of people, I call them Gmail people, but they're always saying that every project that comes in drills a well and pumps from our aquifer when it's furthest from the truth. The fact of it is, this water's coming through the system of Tampa Bay Water and our county to make things better. We've improved with environmental from before. We used to pump so much out of the ground that we had a lot of environmental issues in our swamps and areas that needed water. And we're able, because of the reservoir and the desal and other issues, we've been able to cut the ground pumping of water down just to where that environmental issue is kind of gone away. So it's really been good for Pasco County. Thank you.
Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, Chuck, good to see you again. I'm excited to get back on the horse. I've been following along, regularly ever since my first time. It's fun to watch when we improved when I was on the Water Management District Governing Board, the funding for the South County Transmission Line Project. It's really been just neat to be a part of it through its cycles of development and progression. When it comes to PFAS, man, I don't know what the solution is there. I mean, unless we capture the rain and filter it too, because it's being evaporated, those chemicals are being evaporated up and, spreading all around the world. So that's probably one of everybody who touches water, probably everybody's greatest challenge in how to control and manage the PFAS forever chemicals. But, good work. I'm glad I think we're getting ahead of it, at least trying, and all the confidence in the world of you and your team to see where the science of that subject matter takes us. So glad you're here today, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Ms. Yeager.
So I am really looking forward to, what I decided was I'm going to start listening to your board meetings. So then when I'm on the board, I'll be like, I already know that. That is what I'm going to do. So I really look forward to serving and learning all about what you guys do. And could you email me? I tried to take a picture of some of the slides, but I missed them. Can you email me?
Absolutely. I can do better. I can give you a large book of things for background information if you'd like as well.
All right, that'd be
Like
great.
an orientation.
I want to learn as much as I can.
Oh, very good.
Thank you.
And Chuck, I want to thank you for a few things we've just talked about as well. That Four Rivers project, you're helping get that conversation going, may lead to a reservoir of some sort to help us with surface water, which I think would be much better. The Howard Current Plan, I'm glad you brought that up, Commissioner Stark. It's something like when I first got elected, it was like looking at that stuff and why are we dumping all that water into the bay? They did clean it up a lot, but I will tell you, it scares me when I hear conversations about taking this reclaimed water and turning it into drinking water. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to ever get to that point. one of the things I think this could be a great benefit, and maybe it's a stronger negotiation, because I'm not crazy about deep well or well injection. I know they say it goes below the aquifer, it's below that, but eventually that water's got to go somewhere and do something bad if it's over a long enough time. So I do have a problem with that. But with Hillsborough growing as much as it is, as much as we're going on there, sprinklers use so much water. And we have done such a phenomenal job with reclaimed water. I wish Hillsborough would pick that up, work with the city, work with Tampa Bay Water, and help get the funding in place to get those reclaimed pipes through those developments that are coming up. As we're growing in the area, so be it. And long ago, we actually talked about, running it all the way up to, the crossbar well field to go rehydrate what's up there too, but they didn't want to do it. And if it's too far with what we've got going down in Hillsborough, as they're growing as much as they are too, that I think that's something we should be pushing real hard on, rather than deep injection wells and turning it into drinking water. They'd have to spend so much money cleaning that water to get it drinkable. And again, I don't know about anyone else, but whenever I know there's that type of water, I just don't want any part of it. Going to Dade City, what's the progress with the exploration up there, or the investigation as far as drilling up in Dade City area?
That's the Eastern Pasco well field. It's one of those 6 projects that I had on the slide. Right now, they're just doing the well to do a pump test, to basically just see what the environment will do if water was pumped. That project, like I said, is in feasibility. There's a study that's going to come out, and it's going to say if it's feasible to do or not. About 9 million gallons a day. It was fresh groundwater and also a brackish water. The brackish water has been put on hold, so they're not going as deep, but they're looking at what does that area support underneath environmentally with the pumps, a pump test. So that would be next year. I said to you, in 2027, the board would be looking at different supplies. And so the study is not done, but it will be soon, and then it'll go in there for the board to consider into the future.
Okay. And one last thought, as we are getting the Howard Current Plant pumps a lot of treated water, very well-treated water, but still, if you look at the seagrasses, I sit in the estuary, actually chairing of the estuary for Tampa Bay. The seagrass has really been a negative turn for the past few years. You've got other cities that are pumping water in the too. I won't name them, but they're known. All that water by 2031 or 32 has to stop, but I think we should be starting to look at programs, and maybe we can make it part of our federal platform as we talk about that next, to try to go up there and try to get some federal money to help these plants that are pumping that water in and go find another source for it to go, such as, could be golf courses, could be other projects, new development coming in to get it to a better place. So appreciate working with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate the comments.
Any other thoughts, questions? Okay.
Always good.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. So it's 11:10. I've got a time certain for 11:15, so I'm going to bring up Mr. Bill Cronin.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday, and always great to hear from Chuck and Tampa Bay Water. Water is really important to what we do as well, too, so it makes sense that we're together right now. Today, I have the pleasure to report to you our first quarter metrics to the county. This is a little different format than usual. This is the very first full reporting period that our public funds have been 100% from the penny. So historically, we used to have 2 presentations. Today, you're lucky, we just have 1 presentation that covers all of the different things that we're doing. And I'm going to format it in a certain way for you to follow fairly easily, but I also want to let you know in your packet, you've got the full list of metrics that you'll get every single meeting that I present. And that's 88 different items that we perform on behalf of the county per our contract with the Penny for Pasco. We're not going to go through all 88 of those, and instead, I'm going to present in some of the highlights of each department and also the impacts that those metrics lend towards. So just before we get started, just for fun.
Did we get that? I don't have it. I don't have it. I don't think anyone else has it. It's not attached in the agenda.
We don't typically print out the presentations for you, but
But shouldn't it be at least
Should be in the
online?
packet, yeah.
it's in,
It says attachments none.
we'll have that presented. There's usually a timing issue when we go to publication on these types of things. But Gina can print those for you and have them available to you if you want to follow along.
Do you want to make a copy of this? Okay. Okay, and I'll make sure when we turn those in also to remind everyone to add those, because they're good reading. There's a lot of stuff. You'll see some pictures from when we had Vantage Point AI for an announcement for their expansion during the first quarter. And I'm going to present this in 3 major groups, and that is Start, Move, and Grow, the same as our moniker. So Start being our startups, things that we work on through the incubators, our entrepreneurship programs. Move will be business recruitment, where we're trying to get people to move here. And Grow will be exactly what it says, growing our existing business here and then showing what the impacts of each of those are. So starting with Start, you'll see that the 3 highlights of the quarter, we had 1 microloan closed out of our goal for 6 for the year, $25,000 that went to Effie May's Kitchen in Zephyr Hills, and we're starting to see a real, how do I say, food hub started to take place in East Pasco right now. And as far as participants and workshops, we had 286 participants already in the first quarter, our overall goal of 650. We had 6 representatives attend 6 different events in the community with our goal of 10 for the year. So we're already ahead on each of those. We also hosted 22 Israeli tech firms at Smart Start. So Israel sees Florida as a pretty big market. We're well over twice the size of the country of Israel, and most of them want to do partnerships with us. So the impact of those activities are, we're seeing new members at each of the incubator centers, so 2 new incubators members at West Pasco, 8 at the Grove, and 6 at the Kitchen, or East Pasco. But here's the part that's most interesting. 16 companies launched in that first quarter. And those are things that these activities will build up to. We can't make a company do these things, but this is the impact that those activities have by doing them. So highlights from business recruitment. We had 9 business development events that we attended in the first quarter. And in that, you see there's Urban Land Institute, commercial real estate conferences. Again, getting the word out to people outside the county, outside the state to move here. Our ready sites continue to be what most people are looking at. We have a new candidate site for a ready site that we're working on already for this next year. It takes us about a year to a year and a half to complete that. And then we had members that were speaking at events. So I spoke at the Bio Conference, Tom Ryan at the NAOP Conference, and then we also had representation at Economics, which was all site consultants. And then impacts for that, 8 new leads already in the first quarter, 18 new projects, and 14 RFPs that we responded to that we submitted Pasco County buildings or sites. 8 submissions that included our ready sites, and 14 face-to-face meetings with decision makers on projects. That's really where the rubber hits the road, is when we're actually meeting with people. Moving into Grow, and again, working with our existing business, we hosted a workforce group event, which is our Pasco 50. We do that twice a year. We already had our first one, Pasco 50, and then also, I'm trying to read that with 60 one-on-one counseling sessions. Quarter 2, we assisted 2 companies that had need for foreign trade zone. So keep in mind, anything we do with exports or helping people find export markets, that's part of our existing business assistance. And then we had 16 visits to local companies that had issues or challenges. And that's when we work really closely together with county staff, with Office of Economic Growth, permitting, planning, all of the above to help our companies navigate through those situations. So impact for our existing business, 16 visits, 27 different issues that were addressed. And you'll see there's a graph that actually lists the different types of issues so that we can start to see if there's trends. If there's trends in certain items, we'll come back and say maybe we need to do something programmatically to address something if we have several companies going through the same issue. 8 new jobs out of those expansions, 2 local expansions, local companies here. And that's always probably our best ad for business, is when we see our local companies continuing to expand. Here's an overall glimpse of our whole pipeline. And in the gray is the existing pipeline, and the orange are the items that came through this first quarter. So I'm always going to present to you what we have, what's new. You need to see that pipeline continuing to grow, what we're still working. And unfortunately, sometimes what we've lost or what has been abandoned we'll actually include in there as well too, so that you know if the faucet's starting to turn off at all. The top target industries, still no surprise there: advanced manufacturing, life sciences, aviation, aerospace, and defense. Although I will say, and I mentioned earlier, we're starting to see a lot more activity around food, especially around East Pasco, and that's why, again, water being so important with what we do. I see Nicole Dubes here today also with access to fresh, and those are going to be something that we continue to see, especially around Zephyr Hills, I think, too. We had 3 wins: Black Diamond Coatings, Greco Architectural Metal Products, and the Fulfillment Lab. And we're waiting on job commitments for those, but we've already got the commitment that they're going to do it here. You may have already seen the sign for Fulfillment Labs on the building, the spec building at Sun Lake. So this was a company that we all helped jump through some hoops right around the holiday time, and they sent out millions and millions of packages just from that location in that short time, thanks to working together with staff here. Marketing, $776,000 of earned media value already. Our goal is $1 million. As far as our social media followings, we have a 5% year-over-year increase goal, and that goal puts us at 722 new followers for the year. We already have 160, so that's trending really well. And 2 ad campaigns already this year, focused on the port shipping, Propeller Club, and that goes out to, of course, to the foreign direct investment candidates. Top landing pages still, doing business in Pasco, Bauduco Foods, Smart Start, microloans. A lot of those are the same press releases that we had, and it's not surprising that they're going to the webpage to read more about that. Florida, Virginia, Oregon, California, and Iowa are the top hits this quarter. Historically, we've seen a lot from Illinois, New Jersey, New York, starting to see some stuff further west this time. And then as far as our private sector activity, we're up to 94 investors, 48 members of the board or policy council, and already have 240,000 in our private sector investment goals, or towards our goal. 3 new investors: Orlando Health, Tampa Metropolitan Area YMCA, and Bank of the Ozarks. And then coming up, thanks for you guys who had attended the Economic Forecast Luncheon this last week. Sold out event, again, many years in a row. Everybody likes that one. Next thing coming up is our food vendor fair, which will be at the East Pasco Incubator. And I always joke, you wear your stretchy pants, they'll have samples there, but it's a good time to meet our food vendors. And if you're looking to buy something for your staff or catering arrangements, we've had a lot of experience that has come out of that by meeting with our members there. March 12th, annual NetFest, and that'll be the chili cook-off again, and that will be at the concourse out on 52, fairly centrally located, should be easy to get to, and should be chilly enough to enjoy the chili. And then also our annual Grow Pasco, March 19th, also in March, and that'll be a day-long event for entrepreneurs over at the Sierra Hyatt or I'm sorry, at St. Leo, all day. And that's our team, and I'll stop there and see if you guys have any questions.
Any questions? Mr. Waitman?
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, Bill, I very much like this style of your update. It's more detailed and metric-driven, which I appreciate, so I know probably maybe took your team a little bit more time to put it together, but grateful for Bill's team and your time in this new format, so good update for Q1.
Thanks.
Thank you. Commissioner Stark?
How far along is Paducah? Are they going vertical?
They're very vertical. Yeah, yeah, they're very vertical.
I'm so excited, yeah.
And right now, we're seeing them already talk about doing a hiring fair to start hiring some employees. Equipment should be coming fairly soon as well in there. But yeah, if you drive by, and we'll include some photos for you guys. Good reason to get out there. And yes, but very vertical, and it looks great, state of the art.
Well, would you mind sending me some photos?
Happy to do it. I'll send it to all of y'all. Yeah.
Yeah, someone? Okay, I'd love to see what it looks like.
So Bill, with, and a great report, I do all the structure too. Thank you for setting those metrics up. With New York, New Jersey, I think Seattle, those mayors that are up there that are really disrupting things.
Yeah.
The way they're going to start taxing the rich, et cetera. I got to think we get some great opportunities. Are we looking to penetrate those markets a little bit more?
Selectively. I'll say selectively. There's some of the voices there we don't want here. I'll be very candid about that.
Yeah. Okay.
But thank you again. And this also helps the county with their staff, with their strategic plan. A lot of these items now align perfectly with the strategic plans, item 3.3 and 3.2. So at the end of the year, you'll see very clearly where Pasco EDC is working together with staff in what our part of is, and then what the return on investment is.
Okay. One more thing too, as far as like office development, et cetera, you still find there's a strong need out there for office to bring jobs up here as opposed to people still commuting south?
Yeah, I think as people start to settle into the housing that has been built over the last few years, the employers are going to start to see there's no need for all of those people to commute on a daily basis downtown. And if they can save an hour out of people's lives at the beginning and the end of the day, that makes for a better workforce and happier workforce. And now we have CEO level housing here too, so they can move here as well too. The difference is that it needs to be there and ready. So speculative development's really difficult to roll the dice and say, am I going to go ahead and build this and hope they come? Luckily, we do have some product out there. It's been filling. I think the attitude is there. It's just a matter of making sure that we continue to tell the story.
Okay. Mr. Yeager, do you want anything? Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Happy New Year.
Okay, next item, we're going to get to our federal platform.
Good morning, Commissioners. Ralph Lair, Intergovernmental Affairs Officer. So today our objective is to gather your input and direction to establish our legislative platform, federal legislative platform, set goals, priorities that will be the basis of our advocacy efforts with Congress and federal agencies going forward. We have with us today Tracy Pugh. She's with our lobby team, a federal lobby team, Ballard Partners, joining us today. So she'll chime in, and we'll do like a tag team going forward during the presentation. So what we're going to go over, federal grant funding that we have received for FYs 23 through 25, community project funding, which are earmarks for years 23, 25, active funding requests for this year, 26, future funding objectives, regulation language currently being addressed, and future concerns that we could address, and then next steps on how we can better advocate in Washington and work with our federal lobbyist, Ballard Partners. So, before we jump to the slide, let me just tell you, federal funding opportunities. How do we get those? We get those through major competitive grants and programs. Several key federal departments offer competitive grant opportunities, like DOT's RAISE grant, formerly the BUILD grant, DOT's Bridge Investment Program, EPA Water Infrastructural Finance Innovation Act, and we also get those through community projects funding and earmarks, which are requests submitted by individual members in the House of Representatives for specific projects and purposes. Funding also goes through major legislation, such as the Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill, which Congress is currently working on reauthorizing in 2026. The legislation authorizes billions of federal aids for highways, public transit, highway safety, and rail. And finally, we get this type of funding from our feds through disaster recovery. So looking at the first slide, Pasco has received $694 million of federal grant awards over the last 3 fiscal years. This includes $585 million of CDBG DR funding. $91 million is state pass-through programs. So majority of the money that comes out of the feds, it's sent down to the state to push out to the local governments through grant programs. $18 million comes directly from the federal programs. Of that funding that we've received over those years, $37 million is recurring grants, $72 million are non-recurring grants. Federal appropriations, how have we done over the past 23, for years 23, 25? These are, again, our earmarks. These are submitted by our congressional members in the House. Pasco has received $15.55 million of federal appropriations over the last 3 fiscal years through community project funding. Notable appropriations include Wilton Way Connector Road on Spiro's campus, which was actually money passed through to another entity, but it had to come through our county. $3 million for design of a consolidated public safety facility, $2 million for an affordable supportive housing for seniors, and $3.3 million for Livingston Road sidewalk.
These are earmarks from Congressman Bilirakis and
Lee, and possibly Lee. Mm-hmm. So last year, FY 2025, Congress did not accept community project funding. So the projects, which a lot of times we just move forward from previous years to continue to get the funding until we reach the final goal. Those were moved forward to this year. We resubmitted those, if you remember. I went back to you and told you. So Congressman Bilirakis resubmitted our projects from 25, and Congresswoman Lee did the same thing. So our current community project funding requests for FY 26 are those lists there. And I have some good news. So as you remember, the federal government shut down toward the end of last year. So going into this year, they moved quickly. They have a deadline of January 30th that they had to get the budget completed to make sure to avoid another shutdown. So they have been addressing and funding these in small rollout bills. And so last Thursday, they passed 3 spending bills hitting the halfway mark in its push to fund government for fiscal 2026 ahead of the shutdown. Those bills were sent to the president. The package included measures to fund the Commerce, Justice, Energy, and Interior departments through the end of September. These included the Energy and Water appropriations bills. So let's see if I can do this.
Wait, so,
Commissioner Starkey.
thank you. So these have not passed.
So I'm about to tell you that we're about to get there. So we did get partial funding for the inline chlorine booster. Let me see if I can, the very first one there, we had asked for $6.8 million. We got $750,000. And for the Congresswoman Lee's Crystal Springs, let's see if I can do it. I gotta go back. There we go. So the bottom one there, the 2 million asked for Crystal Springs Chlorine Booster Station, we received $1 million. And this morning, Summer called me to tell me that from Congressman Bill Arakis' office, informed me that the THUD bill, which contained the majority of our projects that are on that list, that rolled out today. And so we got, for that $3 million additional road expansion for Spiros campus for Moffitt, we received $500,000. And for, under Congresswoman Lee, the $3.3 million for the Collier Parkway, I'm not good at this, we received $1 million. In addition, good news, Kathy, you'll like this, $4 million.
Ralph, 1 sec.
That's okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'll wait till you're done with all your numbers.
Okay. In addition, we received, I'll say we, Pasco County, $4 million for the Area Agency on Aging Affordable Housing for Seniors.
Yay!
Yay. And also, the bill contained language reverting funds for CARES that were previously funded in '23. Those monies have now been reverted and will come back to Pasco County. So you've been waiting for that one too, Kathy. So great news. Unfortunately, and we're going to get to that slide shortly, we did submit committee language that was submitted for a CDBG DR exception to the Transportation Housing Committee. What we were trying to do there, if you'll remember, this language would have allowed us to use CDBG DR funds to be used for a construction of an emergency operations center. Unfortunately, they did not put that in there, but speaking with Tracy earlier, this is something we can go back in now and go talk to the committees to say, let's go over our projects. So you partially funded it, what can we do better? Let's look at that language, because I think we still can go back and address it going forward and say it's a need. The EOC helps our community a great deal, and there should be an exception for those funds and go toward partial funding. In fact, when we were in Washington, if you remember, last year, there were other counties from other states and in the state of Florida that really weren't aware of that, and so they too were beginning to advocate for such a request going forward.
Okay, now I can have my question?
Yes, you can.
Mr. Starkey.
Thank you. Are they still at the $10 million annual level for funding?
For capping, what we normally say is usually $5 million for a community budget funding request. Oh, go ahead, $10 million for.
Congressmen in the past had they could get earmarks up to $10 million. That's what they had annually.
Well, now they're $5 million. Go ahead, come on up.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good to see you again, those of you that were in Washington last year. Two things I want to point out. One, on THUD, congratulations. Those projects are in the House.
By the way, just so everyone can have the record, just your name, company.
Oh, good morning again. I'm Tracy Pugh with Ballard Partners. I want to say with THUD, congratulations. Those projects are in the House bill. The House is scheduled to vote on those this week. The Senate is not in session. They will be back on the 26th. And so we are halfway through the process on THUD. But on energy and water, those projects were passed through the House and the Senate. So those numbers that Ralph reported back to you, those are going to the President in the final bill to be signed. So I want to point that out. Each member can establish a cap. The committee will decide at the end of the day how much they're willing to provide for the particular the community project. So for instance, when you said 10 million, that may be a figure that was set by Congressman Bill Arakis or Congresswoman Lee's office. Okay. But there are offices that request more than that. I recommend that counties stay around the 5 to 10 million range, because that usually is a number that tends to get funded. There are some that come in, 100, 150 million. Those types of projects are not likely to get fully funded.
Okay.
Question, Chair.
Commissioner Waitman.
Thank you, sir. Ralph, we had partial funding on the chlorine booster station for Aaron Cutoff and partial funding for Crystal Springs. Can we just take their and Cutoff money and move it to the Crystal Springs chlorine booster station, have it paid in full and get it built? It's $2 million bucks, so.
I'm going to say probably not, because when we go into contract, which will probably be within the year, the way it was written, it specifically has to go directly to that project. You can't move it around. It's possibility based that they do both the same
They do the same thing.
objective, that we may be able to, but that's going to have to come up during when we go into signing the agreement with the feds for that money, and that's something the department would have to work out, if that is so the direction of the board to do that.
That is correct, and I would also add, Commissioner, that what you can do as you think about fiscal year '27 is going back to your members of Congress and maybe requesting additional funding to make up the difference of the portion that you didn't receive.
Well, I say that because the Aaron Cutoff chlorine booster station, $6.8 billion, and the Crystal Springs project is $2 million. So we've got the $2 million bucks, and we can get one of the two built, right? Instead of just having partial funding for each. So that's kind of was my thought process, if that could be, and we knock one out.
So again, I think hearing you, this is what we need, is the feedback. I think we can then, after the meeting, in the coming days, get with the department, kind of discuss that possibility as an objective going forward. So when it does come time to go into contract with the feds, we can have that discussion.
I was going to suggest, Commissioner, that, yeah, we talk to utilities and see what the status of those projects are, how shovel-ready they are, where they sit in design. Adolfo's here, actually, so if you want, he can talk to it real quick.
I don't want to be labored, the funding's there for at least one of the two. And you know how I am, we got funding, let's get it done, right? So, very simple thought process.
So we heard you loud and clear, and I think we'll have that discussion with Adolfo.
Commissioner Yeager.
Quick question. I was making notes. Did we get $1 million for Collier Parkway?
That is correct.
Okay. And did we get any money for that last year?
No, previously we did not.
We did not. Okay.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. I'm going to start with County Line Road.
Okay.
Where we're trying to get money from the state. Again, if it's 6 years from being built, that's going to be a long, long time.
Sure.
And Hernando wants it done. They've got some money and different things as a small county to get funding. Is there any way to put something together to look at getting funding for that? Have we done that?
And so,
I believe
no, we
we're-
have not, but I'll let.
I believe they were pursuing a build grant for that, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't it true? Nick Uren?
Nick.
Good morning. Nick Uren, County Engineer. We actually have a funding strategy for segments of County Line Road North that shares responsibility between us and Hernando County and allocates some state grants, county incentive grant program funds, which are state dollars, and potentially TRIP funds, also state dollars, toward the construction of wider County Line Road.
So if we got more federal money to go along with what we're trying to partner with the state, might it be something that might put us over the top to get it done? Because I know it's, DOT looks at where the money's coming from to what they can get done, and usually it's going to take from something else.
Additional funding could potentially accelerate it. We still need to finalize our design and then buy the land to build on. So there's going to be some hurdles that we have to overcome to get to construction, regardless of whose money we use to pay for construction.
Okay, I'm just looking for an extra source.
Yeah, sure. And,
All right.
and again, we hear you on the prioritization of that, and we're working hard to get it done.
And I've got a meeting coming up this coming week on Ridge Road with Branford and the team. So I'm not sure where we are, so Branford, you may jump into this, but I'm going to throw something out there. Looking at social media last week, I watched a county, I think it was Palm Beach County, actually named a road after Trump, right? So I think, especially with what we did with Ridge Road, we should look at changing the name and call it Trump Road, all the way to 41. I'm throwing it out there. I'm going to throw one more thing out there with you as well, while we're on the subject. Sun Lake Road, we're trying to get funding for that as well, and I'm glad to see it's on the list here. But I'm thinking maybe we should take a look at possibly naming that Charlie Kirk Road. We're trying to get Trump out here for our final cut with Ridge Road as we get this thing built. And again, I'll wait for the extension one coming up, but I think it'd be awesome. If he knew it was going to be named, I think he'd be sure to be here. I think it would also help us with the funding quite a bit with Sun Lake Road if we took a look at doing the rename on that as well. So I know it's a shock for you all, but that's what I'm thinking. Thoughts?
I don't know, it's kind of funny. But, Trump Road doesn't sound very majestic. Maybe we would have to name it like Trump Parkway or something.
We can do that.
Yeah.
I'm flexible. I'm flexible.
I don't know.
Something to gel on.
Yeah.
Last thing, I don't see anything with AM skills here, and I know we're going to be going up to in February, so I know we're going to try to look at that and try to work with getting some help with that for creating more jobs, and we'll hear more about that shortly.
Yeah. So, well, what are we in discussion on right now?
So now I'm talking about, and we're still on active funding. So in addition to the member projects that we were submitted, this year, we were also able to submit projects to Surface Transportation Reauthorization Bill that they'll be doing later on this year for 2026. So got with the departments, ran these by you of projects, and they're heavy ask. We don't know how this will play out, but we submitted projects. Do not know until they get to the bill if they'll be included, but we included $15 million for the intersection improvements for US 41, $10 million for Bellamy Road expansion and work, $15 million for Sun Lake Boulevard, north of Bud Bexley to Lane Angeline, and $2.8 million for a bus rapid transit on US 19. Again, they'll be working on that bill later this year, and hopefully we can get some of this included into that bill.
Mr. Starkey.
So are these build grants?
No, this is separate funding that goes into, so you remember I said earlier that feds put in money into bills. This is one of those. They put billions and billions of dollars in, and they're allowing the members to pick projects in their communities that would be funded from that pot of money. So when they work on the bill, they'll include the amount. It's not a set amount. They'll include the amount on that, and then they'll start listing out projects that will be divvied out amongst them. Am I correct there, Tracy?
So so are two of these in Billerica? Does it matter?
They were all in Bill Arakis' area. We did not have any in Congresswoman Lee's office that staff felt was warranted enough to move forward.
Sun Lake is not in Lee's?
No.
No. Bellamy Brothers is not in Lee's?
No.
Okay.
She really only has Zephyr Hills up to 75.
Okay. Well, is it customary to list so many projects?
Again, this was a first-time ask that they included, so Commissioner or Congresswoman Bill Arakis did not have a set amount or number of projects. It was just like, what's your wish list?
Well, what does our lobbyist say about doing 4 different ones?
You'll have to come to the mic, sorry.
This is normal. There are communities that list way more than 4.
Okay.
So.
What about a build grant? I don't see where we went for that, and didn't I?
So that's a grant, so that might be a possibility that.
We're only talking about appropriations, right?
Correct, and I'm just about to go into future grants. So at this time, what we're aware of out of grants is that our fire rescue will be submitting for a FEMA Staffing Adequate Fire Emergency Response, a SAFER grant. We've been successful with those in the past. And at this time, the departments have not found a project it's something we could talk about when those bill grants do come out, and they put out a NOFO, a notice of funding opportunity, that we might be able to apply. But this is, again, good feedback. Again, we'll get with staff to see if there are other opportunities. We just got notification from Tracy about some library grants that I know libraries are looking at as a possibility. Again, these are grant opportunities going forward that'll come out this year, and as they come out, we will make sure we watch those and see if there's anything we can apply for.
Aren't there grants for trails in that surface transportation bill?
Not that I'm aware of. Sometimes there, it may be that there will be, but again, until they start working on that reauthorization bill, don't know what they'll include in that. It's always as it's formulated.
Ms. Yeager.
So Ralph, just a quick question. Do you know if Hillsborough is also trying to put money in for the intersection of US 41?
No, I'm not aware of that. No,
Could we find that out?
I can. Yes.
That would be great, like if we got the funding together and just tried to.
It's always good when we can piggyback with our neighbors, yes.
Well, then the TMA should be able to get letters of support because they voted on it. Matter of fact, 2 Pinellas County Commissioners made the motion and second to get that done as a project for the region.
Right.
So speaking as a region, that's like one of those things we
That's what
talk
I was
about.
asking, right?
Yep, no, you're right on the money. But bringing all that together, maybe
Like the way you think.
the right steps to go.
Exactly, exactly.
I'm pretty sure City of Tampa has gotten a lot of federal funding to build that trail that goes along the river.
And I will make sure, and definitely our parks and our transportation engineering will keep an eye out for future trail funding availabilities.
It says, and I just did a quick Google, it says key federal programs, the RTP, Recreational Trails Program.
Correct.
The LWCF, Land and Water Conservation Fund, the IIJA, and and DOT has grants for, well, safe streets. But I don't know if we've ever applied for a federal grant for trails.
So again, I got to go back to one of our earlier slides. I think we should be applauding our staff. They really are aggressively going out. I think we've heard the message loud and clear. We can do better. We should go for every opportunity when these grants go forward and they are pushed out. And I think that's what we'll be doing and have been doing going forward. So future funding opportunities. So basically on this one, getting feedback from our county departments, we've established some projects that we could possibly look at seeking funding for. I have had discussions about some of these projects with Tracy and our federal team. But just know that, we've got to look for funding for the east and west courthouse improvements. We're looking at about $222 million, and I'll stop there.
I know, I just want to make just a note, just on a sad note. Yesterday, a judge and his wife were shot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, people are crazy. We really need to make these courthouses a priority, so.
And hopefully we'll be successful. I think that's a message. I'll be going up to Tallahassee and tomorrow and the next day. I'll make sure that our sponsors are very much aware for the project that we have submitted at the state level to go forward for the Sumner courthouse.
Okay, go ahead.
Almost. So other ideas, design and construction of a new EOC, septic to sewer conversions are a possibility. That's about a $1 billion price tag, and other public infrastructure projects. So now we're into regulations.
On that, Ralph,
I'll stop.
If you could just see that you work with our team on the canal restoration. We're putting a lot of money in, so there should be a great to get matching funds to go what we've already allocated.
Okay. So as I mentioned, what we had currently been addressing with regulation and language, which unfortunately was not included in the THUD bill, was that CDBG-DR language. So that's something we can continue on moving forward because, as you know, the CDBG-DR is going to take several years to implement. So if that language were to be changed, let's say for the 27 year or the remainder of 26, and we were successful in getting that language, that we may be able then to use those funds if, again, that language is adopted. So my recommendation that we carry that on and continue those efforts. We'll go back in, meet with committee staff. Again, this is something I discussed with Tracy earlier, and find out what was it that you all decided not to include that language. What can we do to write language that would be more receptive moving forward? We also, you all put out with your MPO, working with Congressman Bilirakis, which he is reviewing the letter that was sent to him to do a study of the Davis-Bacon wage compliance costs. Again, to do a study, not to address the issues of what we're attempting to do with language. So we have that going forward. That's still being worked on. We are also dealing with U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. As you know, Dr. Bellos and staff were successful in our efforts to get the Congress to reauthorize the Four Rivers Basin project. So where we are at this point today, and Congressman Bilirakis is aware of this, but this is an issue that we could discuss when we go to Washington for NACO.
Yes.
The Atlanta office is still waiting for an actual response, although we verbally have gotten a response that Army Corps will reauthorize it. A formal letter was not sent to Congressman Bilirakis and the other two commissioners that signed on to that letter. Part of that, I think, was we were going over the holidays and dealing with the government shutdown. So I just think it's just a matter of putting the fire back under them so we can move forward with that. And I know that Army Corps of Engineers is really an area that is definitely a federal department that we work with closely. So some other issues that we've talked with staff about that we could possibly sit down and meet with them and discuss. A Maggie Valley Storage Wetland Enhancement Project, support for fair and responsible sediment removal from the hurricane impacts. I know that's important to you, Chairman,
Well,
and others too.
Let me just add one word to that.
Sure, yes.
And put hurricane impacts, put / stormwater. Because over the years, stormwater keeps on going into the canals. It affects water quality, and make that part of it so it's just not storm related. We got to tie back to that.
And I think going forward, we'll work on that language before we go. And if we do set up a meeting with Army Corps, and again, that's something I've been discussing with Tracy, so we'll be better prepared when we go up and have that discussion with them.
Definitely want to meet with them on when we go up there February.
Indeed. And then permit approvals. So there are some things that we have had a holdup right now of Army Corps that we can look into, see if we can get that moving along while we're up there and have that discussion. So going forward and knowing this, another thing, like the reauthorization bill with the transportation, last week we were notified that THUD would be gathering information and input from members of Congress to develop and pass a Water Resource Development Act, a WRDA, later this Congress. So the WRDA provides members of Congress the opportunity to authorize Army Corps of Engineers to work on projects to improve the nation's ports, harbors, inland waterways, navigation network, flood and storm protection, and other water resource infrastructure. So we're currently in the process of gathering feedback. I did receive some feedback from our departments. We've got to review those and see what projects we can submit. At this point in time, Congressman Bilirakis has not given us a deadline, but it's coming up fast. Like I said, the committee chair just rolled it out last week and gave us this opportunity. So again, these would be projects that Congress would direct Army Corps of Engineers to do the actual work and fund going forward. So hopefully we'll have some good projects to submit on that. So I consider this like a new opportunity, kind of like the reauthorization. We've never had this opportunity. So we'll try to see what we can get done. And there's no cap or limits at this point in time.
Okay. All right. And Tracy, is that it, Ralph?
No, one more slide.
One more slide. Okay, one more.
We're getting there. We're getting there. Okay, then we got feedback on some possible regulation and language that we could consider working on with our congressional members. Again, getting feedback from departments and staff. So various departments, Commissioner Starkey addressed the Davis-Bacon Act. So we have a request in right now to do a study. We could actually look at possibly doing language that NACO, which is also in their platform, currently has, and they will continue to advocate going forward to put a raising the cap of the current $2,000 per project to $50,000, and then put a consumer price index, attach that to it.
You're talking about the Davis-Bacon.
That's correct. I am talking about Davis.
Good.
So that's something that we could possibly pursue as our own policy because we know what an impact it has just on our county. I know NACO and everybody else in the United States is working on it, but maybe we could try that as a possibility to just put in see if you can submit committee
So
language.
I'm so confused by that statement because were you in my committee when this failed last year in the meeting?
Was you Davis-Bacon?
Yeah.
No, I was with Transportation,
were
but we tried to get it through them, and they said, well, we're going to defer to your committee.
Because the resolution failed in the CEWD policy.
But a lot of that was carried over from the previous platform, which included the raising of the cap. So in reality, he did respond back to Katie. The policy already remains and will continue to remain. What they were discussing during that committee unfortunately did fail. So I think you'll see it be resubmitted again when we discuss those at NACO.
Okay,
So additional requirements, in addition to what previously existed, they will add on additional requirements.
we have to work to get more politically diverse people on that committee, if you could help me.
With NACO, good luck.
Good luck on that.
Yeah.
So some other issues that staff recommended as a possibility, look at the Change to Affordable Care Act. This would help with, it's an issue that we've been dealing with Social Security and with the Affordable Care Act. So there could be some of our visitors at our correction facility that qualify for those funds. And rather than the burden we put on just the residents of Pasco County, we'd like to see some of those funds continue on with our visitors that they were already previously receiving. And then we look at possibility doing an update to Section 8 housing requirements surrounding the residency requirements. As you know, that was a big issue. That's something we can work on directly. We know how it impacted us. We could work with Congresswoman Lee and Congressman Bilirakis to see if they could get language put in to address that. And as always, we'll continue to monitor proposed language that would impact the county. And finally, next steps. Again, getting the feedback. Talking with Tracy today and Ballard, how we can improve our advocacy, future funding opportunities, future language and regulation opportunities, and then scheduling and advocacy meetings, especially for the upcoming trip in NACO. I think Tracy and I have been talking, and I'm going to bring her back up here, how we effectively utilize that time. So we're competing with every county from around the United States. They're doing the same thing we're doing, going up to the Hill to advocate and try to meet with people. And so if you remember, we piggybacked with several counties last year. So how can we be more effective and look at not just NACO, but going up on separate times to address just our issues when it's not as busy. So I'm going to bring her back up.
Thanks, Ralph. One thing I would suggest as we think about NACO, as Ralph mentioned, there are all the counties across the United States represented. So, and of course, the 67 counties in Florida, many of them are represented as well. It is important to always meet with our delegation, Senator Scott, Senator Moody, Congressman Bilirakis, Congresswoman Lee. However, I would prioritize the agency meetings. I think they are the most important. We should certainly focus on Army Corps. We have a Floridian who worked for then Senator Rubio and worked for Senator Moody. I believe you all may have met with him last year. He's now at Army Corps and certainly is familiar with Connor Tomlinson.
Okay.
Certainly is familiar with Florida, familiar with a lot of the requests that you all have made over the years. HUD seems to be an agency that we definitely need to have a face-to-face with while you all are there, as well as possibly DOT. So again, while the meetings with the delegation are important, I would prioritize the meetings with the agencies.
Okay. And Tracy, I'd like to just, are you going to be around for later on today?
My flight's at 5, so you guys have to tell me what time I need to get back on the road to
It
get.
might be tough, but I just want to bring something, we've talked about the work that you do, and I've always thought highly of Ballard, thought you're very well connected as well, and I know there was a negative article that came out through a left-wing organization that took a shot at you guys and kind of put some doubts out there with others, and if you want to address that or just tell us your relations are good with the president and just kind of
Well,
like reaffirm
thank
that.
you. Thank you for the opportunity. I would just say I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary at Ballard Partners. As you and Commissioner Starkey know, I was just joining Ballard when you all came up last year. After having a 20-plus career in the House of Representatives, very proud to be working for this firm, and the leadership of Brian Ballard is stellar, and proud to be working for the #1 lobbying firm in Washington. Mr. Ballard has enjoyed a illustrious career and here in Florida, and continues to do that in Washington as well, and has a strong and deep relationship with the administration and throughout the federal government.
Thank you. Okay. Commissioner Starkey?
So with our previous federal lobbyist, we received NOFOs all the time. And especially, you know, some of us have different interests, and one of the areas where I was getting a lot of information was in workforce development, and that's why workforce development and economic development are kind of where I like to be at the national level. And so I just want to put a stake in the ground that I'd love to hear whatever NOFOs are coming in those areas.
Well, that's excellent. One thing that Ralph and I talked about was we're beginning to provide a monitoring service of grants that are coming out. That's how you got the information about the library grant. But particularly with Department of Labor, and that may be one of the agencies that we want to do a one-off, maybe with just you, to do that meeting when you come up. They have an initiative for an apprenticeship. They're trying to develop about
Yes,
right,
and I've been to
a million
Oxford
apprenticeships by the end of this
I'd
year.
love to go visit them.
Yes,
But
so we can.
I think we're stronger when we go in with multiple commissioners. So if we can,
And I joined you one time.
yeah, so if we can, and staff, so if we can.
So I agree with that. So since the NACO is just coming up, at this point in time, currently you, Commissioner Mariano, Mike, and myself will be up there. But as I said, as we formulate this, maybe the following month, we can go back up there to meet with not only our federal delegation, but particular issues directly with the department. And this is, again, the purpose of today is how we can improve our relationship with Washington and be more effective going forward.
I'm going to guess there's not a lot of people going into that office, so I'd like to see if while we're up there on this trip,
Yep.
that we can go in there, because that's, you know, pretty specific little office.
Absolutely, we'll
Okay.
prioritize.
Mike
are there
Carbella, please.
people- Are there people, last time we went, they didn't have anyone
Yes, they are in
selected
place
yet.
now.
So there are, okay. Awesome.
Mike?
Yep, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I think everything that we've heard today, we've gone over kind of what we've done in the past with the federal government. We've got legislative and some administrative agency type things, projects. We've heard discussions on different types of projects, NOFOs, et cetera. The goal here is to take all this, coalesce this information and develop exactly that. It's not just NACO. We're going to be working with Ballard to say, here's probably what we should be doing in June. Here's what we should be doing in August, September, October, throughout the year as part of a targeted approach, as well as prioritize some of these things. There could be some of these that are a little more longer term and are going to require more effort. So the feedback that we've gotten today, I think, is good. I've made a lot of notes on things that I think are important to the board, or at least discussions. We'll bring that back at a later date and have you guys sign off on that, much like we do the state platform and priorities, and then we're going to go to work on it. So I just thank you all for joining us here on this, and if there's anything else that you want to add to it, we'll certainly take that either now or after the meeting.
All right, so let me say this. I know we were supposed to have the Food Policy Advisory Council. If that can be later today, so be it. But while Tracy's here, David Engel had a presentation on ROI for that. I think before we start the 1:30 hearings this afternoon, let me have David put a quick presentation on for it right before they do the 1:30 meetings, and then Tracy can hear it before she actually has to go back to DC.
It's a 5-minute presentation.
Okay. All right, so we'll adjourn for 1:30. Thank you.